This is Blue Fox Tuesday night, nightly Tuesday stream.
This is the weekly Tuesday Kickstarter stream, but we're here every evening,
Yes.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So there's just so much of us.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Sorry.
But this evening.
Yes, this evening it's Tuesday and it's Kickstarter roundup.
Tuesday and Kickstarter and Tuesday and
Tuesday and Kickstarter. We'll just keep saying. And we have a special guest, our friend Joey. I think Oliviera. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Maybe he should introduce himself.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe that should be a question I ask before we go live as well. Anyway,
yes.
Here we go. I'm just going to put him on screen. So, hi, Joe.
Hi there. You okay?
Yeah, very well. How are you finding Tuesday?
Tuesday's good, if that's the day it is now. It's a bit of a blur at the moment. Week 2 of lockdown, so yeah. Tuesday's good.
Yeah. So, can you obviously introduce yourself and Afterlight and sort of tell us a bit about the background of using Kickstarter and we'll sort of obviously we'll butt in with questions when they come up.
Yeah, so I'm Joseph Oliviera. I'm from Afterlight Comics, and Afterlight Comics is a independent horror comics publisher, which I started just over 2 years ago now. And I come from a filmmaking background, and I used to make short films about 10 years ago now. And I was nominated for a Young Person's BAFTA Award for a short film, and then I kind of got rolled into full-time work, and that kind of fell on the side, my filmmaking side. So then, as I say, 2.5 years ago, I started adapting some of the scripts that I'd done for short films into horror comics. And since then, it's been about, I think it's over 14 books now, 15 books, and every single one of them has been funded using Kickstarter. Every one of them has been successful, thankfully, and that's how everything's funded. All the books, they're put on there, and then it's up to the people out, the public, to, if they want to back it, support it, and make it happen. Thankfully, they did.
Yeah. How did you hear about Kickstarter?
I think I was just looking at ways to try and fund my first book, and I was looking at Indiegogo and then Kickstarter, and I think I was just looking at crowdfunding ways. And then Kickstarter, I'd seen things pop up for short films and stuff on Kickstarter, so I think I'd heard of it that way. But then it just started off from there. I felt researching everything about Kickstarter for the first 8 months, podcasts, articles, people that had done comics. I was just studying other people's Kickstarters, how they've been funded, and what they were doing, and taking bits from there and bits from there to try and plan my first one.
I have so many questions about you now, because I didn't know that you were that you came from film background. I know your books, I know your comics, I know Afterlight Comics, but I didn't know that you came from a filming background and that you were award winning. And it's interesting because you started because you're you started with scripts, really same thing, and then looking for a way to get those out, because obviously we all know films are, even however short they are, very expensive to do. But so when you were doing them, were you the writer on all of them, or were you directing them as well, or what else? How did it? What were you doing?
I was pretty much doing what I do with comics, pretty much all aspects of it. I'd write the script. I mainly I love doing the camera work. That was and the directing. I love that most. But I got roped into the acting most of the time, just because we didn't have many people. It was just with a bunch of friends at the start. But then when I won a film festival, it was a commission for £5,000, Liverpool Film Night in 2008, I think it was. We got that budget from this art house cinema, and then we were able to do a bigger budget, and we had casting sessions or auditioning, and then that was a greater range of things that we were doing, lighting, camera work, directing, and producer. That was it was like a film school almost doing that. But
Yeah.
So it started off from there as well.
Wow, so that's really good. So does that when you're working on the comics, I mean it must do, but that must influence sort of how you see them, how you relate them to artists and things like that. It must be really informative and helpful because you've got the eye for that sort of thing as well.
100%. Whenever I write a script or I think of, you know, my ideas, it's already played out in my head how it's looked, what the shot is, you know, the full film is there in my head. It's just about me trying to express that into the script and then express that to the artist now when I'm, you know, obviously trying to adapt it to a comic. And so, yeah, most of my comics have like a style of, they look very natural and it's like grounded. It's not too fantasy. It's trying to keep that real world element because obviously I'm from a filmmaking background and it's trying to adapt that into that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I looked at some of the pages when you sent me the issue 2 of Stay Awake. It's quite obviously quite dark and shadowy, and that's a sort of, it's almost building suspense, isn't it? And not going all out with special effects, shall we say? And it's it was good.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
Can you see the comments coming up as well? Do you have any, or...
Yeah, I can just see. I just seen them now. Yeah. Hey to Adrian and hey to Paul as well.
Yeah, so we've got Adrian here.
That's Adrian's my artist for Stay Awake series right now, and that's the Kickstarter going on right now for Stay Awake 3. He's working away now, probably listening to this. So
yeah, well, he better be. No.
Yeah.
But and also the other one, which is Paul. Stay Awake was based off a stage play he wrote and shelved.
Exciting stuff. So being that the artists are obviously listening to you speak, you'll love this next question. So when you're working, because it's interesting, and I think every 2 people work differently, whatever it is anyway, because it's, you know, it's a dynamic and things. But so when you're working on, say, the scripts that you've done and you've got those really clear ideas of how it's going to pan out on a page and things, when you've been working on comics, have you found that easy to relate to artists? Has it been quite challenging? Has it been a learning curve? How has it been for you? And
I've been really, really fortunate with it. Every artist I've worked with just gets the vision. I think it helps that I'm fairly descriptive with my scripts, like what kind of shot, what kind of angle, you know, not too like, oh, there's a man standing there, you know, it's like, you know, it's close up, low angle shot, bird's eye view, you know, all these kinds of things. And I'm really fortunate that the artists that I work with know that kind of like cinematography of the script. Adrian's been fantastic, you know, he excels at everything that he does. You know, when the script comes back to him, it's like, it's just nailed it. You don't have to change anything, you know, it's just so simple, not having to you know, work with someone who just gets it. Same with all the artists I've worked with. As I say, I've been really, really fortunate, and
I'd say that sort of a lot of the time when I get the art back, the pages back, and a lot of the time they will say, yeah, Simon, I just changed this, and you know, I thought it would be better like this, and they're right in a nicest way, because they're artists and they know what they're doing, and I think that's that's part of the collaborative process that I really like. And also, and I'll look at it and I think, yep, that's fine, and I'll move around the words, and it's generally me changing stuff about my script when it comes back. But yeah, no, it's interesting and it's good to hear as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Stay Awake, because these are about I'm not gonna say a psychologist, sleep therapist.
Psychologist that deals with cognitive behavioral disorders.
Cool. And so, was it like a 3-act play type thing? Is that why there's 3 of them, or?
No, it was going to be. It was just going to be a 70-minute stage play, no intervals, because it was a horror stage play. So you wouldn't have that break in between. So you wouldn't have that break to break the tension kind of thing. It would just be like a constant atmospheric play that would take place. And I had it in plans with a local theatre, and then obviously the job got in the way. and I wasn't able to commit all the time to it. So 4 or 5 years later, Stay Awake, I adapted it into what we have today. You know, it's a 4-issue series, and yeah, we're up to 3 on the Kickstarter now. So I'm just glad I've been able to get it out there, because it was, you know, I was really excited to bring it to like a stage thing, and such a shame it didn't, you know, fulfill to that this time around. So yeah.
That's good. So how have you approached the coronavirus with this Kickstarter? Have you done anything different?
The only thing I think I've done differently is the last 3 or 4 of my Kickstarter campaigns were 19 days, shorter ones, just because last year was such action-packed. There was 6 Kickstarters that we did, 6 books. So, you know, it was like one every other month. So it's just like getting the books out there as well as getting the Kickstarters out there. But I've let this one breathe a little. I've done the full 30 days this time. Just to, not necessarily to do with Corona, but just to see how a 30 days compares to the 14 that I was getting. You know, will there be more backers, or you know, it's just to see what happens, really. But honestly, you know, I think Corona or no Corona, you know, people are stuck inside. People want to be entertained. Nobody wants the TVs to be shut off or Netflix to be shut down. You know, people still want to read and consume and, you know, enjoy things. So I've seen Kickstarters be cancel their Kickstarters mid-campaign and not bothering the Kickstarters. Just like, well, if you've done the work to, you know, prep and, you know, prep the audience that you've built, like, you know, Simon, you know, you have mail lists, and, you know, you keep people up to date with what's going on. And if you put that in, then I don't see why you would fail. Whatever's going on outside. Yeah.
Would you say you're seeing any more number of cancellations for the backer cancellations, or is it about the same? Or I mean, it's only just started.
So we're only 2 days in. So, you know, if you're willing to, you know, fund the Kickstarter now from the start, well, we're pretty much in the midst of what's happening. You know, I don't see why. I've put like a little part in my Kickstarter at the bottom about coronavirus. You know, this is our 17th Kickstarter we're doing now, and I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have confidence that we will always deliver whatever happens. The only thing I need to rely on at the end of the day is the postal service and our print service. And before I launched the Kickstarter, I got reassurance from the printing service that, you know, no matter what's going on, you know, we have things locked down here to sort orders, fulfill whatever you put in. So I just put the parcels in the letterbox at the end of the day as well. And I did the Kickstarter folk tales for the cryptids last month, and 2 weeks ago they were still being sent to people's houses, so we haven't been affected on that front either. So thankfully we're in a position where we can, you know, still create and, you know, do what we're doing with other artists and stuff, can't we? It doesn't stop what we're doing right now, really, does it?
No.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just putting up your campaign now. Right on here. So I mean, 122 backers for 2 days is really good.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Has that been steadily growing over the last 17, or
over the what? Sorry,
over the last 17 campaigns, has it been steadily getting higher and higher numbers of backers? And
so each series has like growing. You know, each consecutive issue keeps growing. That's all I want, Simon. At the end of the day, if the issues are always getting funded on Kickstarter, that's what matters the most to me. I obviously always want to grow and keep growing and people to the series. That's always my goal, to just keep growing in the right direction. Yeah,
that's right. I'm just going to put and see whether this works. There we go. So hopefully, that looks like it's gone to. Oh, there we go. So we put the link to your campaign in the comments, so people can go there. It's it looks really cool, which is really good. So the rewards this time, have you done anything different with the rewards, or are you just trying to keep it simple?
I've done for the first time like a big Afterlight Comics digital. Like every book we've done is all in one tier. For first 72 hours, it's like an early bird, £12, and you get every title we've published, including like the making of one of the books, which was Rise of the Goat Man, which is like all the ink interiors of the book that Adrian sketched out. So that was cool. But yeah, I always keep it simple with tiers. I don't want to go to it's a lot of work, isn't it, at the end of the day?
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
What's your top tiers on Mansions of Madness? Because you've got a few.
I did some retailer only tiers because somebody asked me to, but again, nobody's really picked them up. But that's fine. So apart from
they're handy, so you can't really.
Yeah. So when I kicked off the campaign, the highest tier was for a Blue Fox Comics horror collection. So it included Sinners Volume 1, Hexes Volume 1, Hexes Volume 2, and as well as the main, as the main books and stuff. So that's gone very well. I'm very pleased. Obviously, a Lovecraft thing is horror, so you are going to get that sort of thing. Should be people's cups of tea. I'm just going to call mine up now. Not that I don't know what I'm doing, but and I think we've sort of at least sold about 50 of them or something, which I'm super pleased with. Because just trying to find them now. We were 43 for the hardback version and 21 for the softback version. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's something that was introduced about a third of the way through the hardback version. I guess when it was becoming when it was blowing up, somebody very kindly came in and said, "What about a hardback version, Simon?" And I thought, yeah, that really worked with Arcane Rights with a game book. I thought, yeah, this is the sort of thing with these sort of numbers. But again, I always put out an update first saying, hey, backers, what would you think of a hardback, and to get their response. And yeah, it was pretty overwhelming that a lot of people wanted a hardback, and even more than that. What they want is almost extra special leather bound, foil, blah, blah, which is great, but there's just no time now. So what we'll probably do if we carry on doing Lovecraft, or when we carry on doing Lovecraft, we'll maybe collect them into like very posh versions and then do that as a separate Kickstarter. But very happy with how it's going.
Great. What's your year looking like for Kickstarters now? Have you got them all planned out, scheduled?
It's funny you say that because I've been, every year I try and map out what we're doing, and every year I struggle to keep up with Simon's change of plans and distractions and things. But this year it is, obviously there's a lot going on now, which will probably affect it. But certainly when we were looking at 2020 in December 2019, we were looking at pretty much a Kickstarter every month almost, because there were lots and lots of books that either we're working on or Simon's working on, or that we've got people that have come to us, and we've had submissions come through. So there were loads. That's probably going to change a bit because of, obviously, like we were saying, with the post and things and getting stuff out and stuff, it's all gonna, I think, slow down quite a bit. But probably what will happen is our books, the ones that we're doing, will probably just get pushed back a bit, and so that we'll try and fit in the ones that have been submitted so that they get done too. But a full on year. Because it was interesting what you were saying about sort of you got to a stage where you were doing them every other month. How did you find that? Was it fairly manageable? Is it fairly smooth? Or
I got it done. That was the positive at the end of it. But I think I'd done shorter campaigns as well, because I was colouring the books as well, and I'm lettering the books and also running the campaign at the same time.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's a lot of work there.
It helped that I was like 2 scripts ahead for the year for artists to get ahead, and so it was down to me to then colour and letter and then get it out to the printers and then fulfill. So I was always like 2 books ahead. Last year I had like a head start of 2 books, and then that carried on to the end of the year. Whereas this year, where we've only got Stay Awake being drawn right now, but I just sent the last chapter of Ghost Island out this week, so that's being worked on. So with this lockdown, I'm gradually clawing back the books and time back now. So it's not, if you can get ahead and you plan ahead, it's not too stressful. You can do it. But I don't think I could do a Kickstarter every month though.
Honestly, I think I could probably have 2 accounts and do a Kickstarter every month. It's kind of bad. Certainly, lots of sort of single issues and stuff like that. But that's, well, it's mad. It's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. One of the things we spoke about just before we started, and I didn't really know about, and maybe you can just let everybody who's watching know, is about the click and collect thing. Would you mind just taking us through that? I've not used that, and obviously I'm quite. I don't really want to stand in a post office queue. Anyone who's done a Kickstarter and got lots of backers, you're literally there annoying everyone, posting all these envelopes. So, and even now at the moment, I don't want to stand anywhere where there's other people for an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, what's your solution that you use?
I'm going to get really nerdy here, but so drop and go. That was the original process I was using. So you copy and paste the address onto a label, print it off on your little printer, stick it on. Then you would go to the post office and drop them all off and say standard air mail or first class Royal Mail for the UK. But now recently, you can download all the addresses from your Kickstarter, from the surveys that people have filled out, then print it out using I use a Dymo printer.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's our dog.
Yeah.
Print out a big label. All of the labels are all in one go, and then you export it into the Royal Mail website, and you can pick all the first class, tracked, standard airmail, whatever you want to do. It'll generate the cost and generate the labels for you as a PDF.
Yeah.
And then you set it all to print, stick them on your parcel.
Yeah.
And drop them in your post box wherever you live.
You don't need to go to the post office or anything. You just post them.
If it's a large letter, you can go to your letterbox, just post them through. If it's a small parcel, there's some letterboxes that will accept that. Otherwise, you just drop them off at the post office. You don't have to have the awkward, I've got 100 parcels for you to write. Just like, here you go. That I've done it. I've printed the labels. I've done the labor. Just put them in the bag in the back for us. That's it. Because I was rolling up to the post office with a suitcase, Simon. Like I was on holiday picking up some euros. No. I've got 250 envelopes to drop off here for you to price up. So as much as you can do and make it more efficient for yourself and get it out to the backers, that's all you want, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously with this Mountains of Madness Kickstarter going well over 1,000 backers, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be I'm just gonna have to take a month off at some point and just do fulfillment, I think. But
you just got to split up a bit, haven't you?
But that's really good to know. So if you can send us the links maybe to your printer if you bought it on like Amazon or something, and also the click and collect, anything like that, I'll stick them in the comments on the video on YouTube. So it's a massive game changer for me. I only used it on the last campaign, and it's just so much easier. Yeah. No, I need easy. That is exactly what I need.
Back in the day when we were writing the addresses on the envelopes.
Yeah. I'm amazed that any of my envelopes got anywhere near the backers with my writing. It was, but it seems to be okay. I'm going to have a look at your campaign again. Yeah. So, okay. So there's lots of limited ones on there. How do you find? Do you like putting limited ones on there? Is it?
Yeah, I've stopped on limited ones because I think it creates more urgency with people that if you want it, you've got to secure your copy now.
Yeah.
And also it just gives me a number of how many prints and posters I've got to print as well then. And know what number you're going to go up to with your costs and stuff. But I find limited is working out with people that maybe are on the fence and will buy it, and just instead of just saving it and then maybe forgetting about it, it's like there's 10 left there. I best get my copy.
No, that's really good. Again, I had like on Mountains of Madness, there was 100 signed print from the author and artist, who's the same person. They're in Poland, so I can't really do I can't get them to sign the book. I can't ship all the books over there and then ship them back. So what we're going to do, we'll just get the like a print signed, get them shipped over there and back. So hopefully that'll work well. And they've all gone, and there's a lot of people now coming to the thing saying, "Oh, is there any chance of getting a print or whatever like that?" So that's worked well. I always somewhat worry that when you do that, when I do it, you always have, I think, worries about when you're running a Kickstarter, and I think sometimes when you do a limited one, I think, well, are people actually going to want, because it's not the highest tier, are they just not going to go for any higher because they want that sign thing? It's it's interesting, and it's sort of a thing that I think at some point I need to sit down and work out the best way of doing it.
Well, I think that's where Kickstarter backers come into it with their suggestions. And if they really want something, if they want it signed, they'll say they'll want it signed, or ask you, or see if you can accommodate that for them. But most of the time, I see, could you add this on? And I was like, I didn't even think of that myself. So it's all about people suggesting things as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's certainly one of the things that I've done in the last few is ask the backers, because they're the ones who are looking around and who have backed similar campaigns or backing them a lot. And I say, have you seen something on another campaign, or like a stretch goal or an add-on that you thought was good? And if so, just let me know. And yeah, I've had some really good ones from that, which resonate with lots of people. So yeah, I think it's always a good idea to ask the backers, because again, like the artists, they're the experts. They know what they're doing and they know what they like.
Yeah, it's a fresh pair of eyes that we don't have as well, isn't it? Like looking at your campaign and suggesting things.
Yeah, no, very much. It's good. So have you always been successful with every Kickstarter, or any which were touch and go, or?
There was one, Ghost Island 3. It was must be 18 months ago now. It was on the back of Ghost Island 1 was 44 pages, second one was 38 pages, and then I was going to do a third one. Third one was going to be another big one, oversized, 38 pages, and it was a high goal. It was like three and a bit grand, and halfway through the campaign, just wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to not take it as a negative and just think, how can I improve this? How can I make this a success now? So I cancelled it, which was hard because there was about 150 backers on it. Updated them, let them know what's going on, what's the plan moving forward. And I made the right call then, saying, I'm going to split this issue up. We're going to do a 3 and a 4 out of this issue.
Yeah.
Do the third Kickstarter, half the goal, half the cost, and fulfill it that way. And then just extend the series to another issue. So it was 5, goes to 6. And we launched 2 weeks later and was funded. And, you learn a lot from it. I think, Simon, yourself, you've been there where it wasn't looking like it, and you've got to take action and, act on it instead of just watching it flounder. And you yourself, you funded it as well.
Yeah, I mean, on The Girl in the Midnight Gown, I in my head I wanted there to be a hardback, because it's just how I viewed the book when I was writing it. So as well as the paperback, hardback, and so I think that it meant that the money, the goal was for, I don't know, £5,000-6,000, something unachievable with my current backers. So yeah, so that was interesting. And you're right. The mistakes is wrong, but the ones that don't go well, you do learn a lot from. And I literally stepped back. I think I let it run to about 1 or 2 days. Again, let people know, saying, look, this is what I'm going to do, and I launched it pretty much straight afterwards, and no hardback, and of course it funded because not only do you have all the ones that you've built up, but you also have a first 2-3 days. Those first, you've done a Kickstarter, you know that the first 2 or 3 days are really good. Sometimes it then plateaus a bit, and then you have a really good last 2 or 3 days again. So by basically running it twice, you got 2 lots of first 3 days, and yeah, so that really helped it. So
yeah, like you said, I think the most important thing is to do with any of your Kickstarters is just be open, honest, and communicate with your backers, people that are supporting you. At the end of the day, they're parting with their money that they've earned for, and are giving it to you to make something. At the end of the day, Kickstarter isn't a reinforced platform where you've got to deliver. It's a trust thing, isn't it? So I think as long as you're honest with your backers, then they'll support you.
Yeah. So saying, as long as you as well, send out updates reasonably frequently, once a month, a couple of times a month. I think it goes a long way, and a lot of people don't do that, and it's a shame. But, yeah. Hello.
Hi. I came back.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a shopping delivery.
Yeah.
So.
We actually managed to get a slot. Yeah. It was a complete fluke. So we can eat again. So that's really good.
Yeah, that's nice.
But, yeah. No. So yeah. Well, that's fantastic. What should I say? We've got the links here. You've got your. Are there any more links as well? We've got your Twitter there and your website. Where else are you active?
Yeah, so we're on Twitter with Afterlight Comics. Afterlight Comics is on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and is it my Twitter? Is it my Twitter's Joey Afterlight? Yeah, and the website's there as well, afterlightcomics.com.
That's right.
So anything you want to check out.
If you can send us those links, I'll add them again to the bottom of the video so people have got them, so they can come upon you. So that's great. So and obviously Joey is one of the nicest people on the indie comic circuit.
That is very true.
So make him blush. So and all his books, as he says, he delivers, and they're really good. And if for Kickstarter, that is one of the ones I will always back. So I would not advise you to do the same, but I was, have a look. It's good stuff, especially if sounds like there's another day on this early bird deal that you're offering on your site. So
yeah, one more day left.
Yeah. So please, everyone, jump on that. That would be a good deal.
As Simon has said to me before, we would strongly suggest that you check it out.
Yeah. That's my words for why aren't you doing this already? That's good. Well, thank you very much for talking to us about it.
I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
That's good. And stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
And you too. Yeah.
And we'll keep an eye on your campaign. And we're doing a share. We're going to do that, aren't we? You're going to.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. So I think Wednesday, is it?
Yeah. Brilliant.
How long's left on your campaign now?
How many days? It's getting to the 72-hour mark, I think.
Is it?
That one, the mark where it changes from days to hours.
Yeah.
So
I'll do the update tomorrow. And your final 48 hours, even bigger of a boost at the end, isn't it?
Well, it's fingers crossed.
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All the best with everything. Take care. Good luck for the Kickstarter. And we will speak to you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for joining us and for joining in too. So we had some lovely comments there, and Adrian, it's good. I should put this up as well because I should have done that. But there you go. Thanks for your comments. Your scripts are always fantastic. Of course they are. So there you go. So So go over, check out Joe's current Kickstarter. It's called Stay Awake numbers 1 to number 3, psychological horror comic series on Kickstarter right now. Got 28 days to go, but there is that early bird bonus that you can back. So check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And join us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is Wednesday.
Yeah, which would be new comics sort of thing. But obviously there aren't any new comics at the moment. So we're working on it, but we'll be here tomorrow from 8 o'clock. So please tune in and we'll see you then.
See you then. Thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.